Alright guys, we're back in the world of Space Marines 2 and I gotta say it, I was wrong. I know you don't hear that often when you come to my channel, but hey, it is what it is. I recently did a tier list video on how I rank each individual Marine, and I ranked the Heavy as an A tier character, and a lot of you told me that, hey Fervor, you're wrong, you need to give him a try, and boy did I give him a try, and he is amazing. As you can probably tell from the footage you're seeing on screen now, which is a ruthless mission, I am absolutely shredding enemies. Heavy comes with a very specific set of skills that make him a really strong character. With this build, you basically have tankiness that is comparable to that of a bulwark, damage just as high as a tactical with aspect scan, with the added benefit of never running out of ammo. The Heavy has quickly become my favorite character in the game, and I want to show you the build I put together for the Heavy. Alright, jumping right into this, let me quickly tell you guys how to play the build because it's actually pretty straightforward. So you will use the Melter rifle. This is a really powerful rifle that does this huge blast of energy that can absolutely shred enemies in no time. How the build is played is actually pretty simple. You just go in and just shoot. Ideally trying to cleave as many enemies as possible so you can maintain the amount of ammo you keep. But with this build specifically, you actually have 50 rounds in your mag. You can switch to your Heavy stance by pressing the middle mouse button and do a barrage of firepower that can absolutely decimate a room. As you probably saw with the intro, even the strongest of bosses in the games doesn't even last more than 20 seconds, and that was not even with max perks. Outside of that, that's pretty much it how to play the build. You go in, you shoot, and you just kill the entire screen. It's absolutely broken. With that out of the way, let me show you how to make the build. For the first row of the core, we're going to be picking up multi-kill. After killing 5 or more enemies with a single shot from your Multi-Melta, restore 1 ammo. This is going to be the thing that helps you sustain your ammo, so whenever you're killing large hordes, which there's a lot of them, you actually be able to sustain your ammo on top of having a pretty insane amount of ammo. For his next core ability, we're picking up Fortitude. You get 20% increased HP. This is actually fairly important. I actually like having a lot of HP because he actually heals a lot of his health whenever he takes a hit. You're going to be pretty much unstoppable with some of the future perks we're going to talk about in a second, where you can't really be knocked out of your Halo mode. And if they break your armor, which doesn't matter, it regens, and having more health is more valuable since you'll be able to heal the white whenever you deal damage of the uncontested health. For our final core skill, we're going to be picking up Overwhelming Power. When Iron Halo is active, all squad members within 10 meters deal 10% more range damage, so this is going to give you a ton of damage when your Iron Halo is already up. For our team perk, we're going to be picking up additional supplies. Ammo capacity for all squad members is increased by 25%. Pretty self-explanatory, you get more ammo. I use a Multi-Melta that has more base ammo, but if you choose to use any other the Multi-Meltas, you actually still have a ton of ammo, 30 plus, fairly easy. For our first gear perk, we're going to be picking Adamant Will. After Iron Halo deactivates, you take 20% less health damage for 5 seconds. And once again, as I said about the health perk, this is really important because when you're standing your ground, which you will be a lot of, what you want your health to drain less while you actually deal damage, because you can overheal your health with the damage that you do. And when you're getting smacked, it doesn't matter because you just heal so much compared to how much damage they actually do. It's really powerful. For our next perk, we're going to be getting Power Regulator. Iron Halos loses energy 15% more slowly. This is going to help with one of our other perks, and this is just going to keep it up as much as possible because you generally want your Halo up as long as possible. I tried to use it during DPS phases, not to protect my team necessarily, so I can actually deal a ton of damage, and having this drain slower is actually really helpful. Next, we pick up Brute Force. When Iron Halo is on cooldown, range damages also increase by another 15%, meaning no matter what you do, if you're using your Halo, if the Halo's on cooldown, you're going to be getting tons of damage regardless because of our individual perks like these two, so it's really nice to have. Finally, we're going to be getting Offensive Capable. When active, Iron Halo deals damage over time to all enemies within 5 meters. I like this perk because I'm always in the fray. I'm standing next to enemies, I'm trying to shoot them and kill them, and this is going to give us some extra residual damage. Plus, when you have the perk Power Regulator slowly draining your iron, you actually tend to do a good amount of damage. Alternatively, for maybe a more if you're newer to the class, or if you have friends that are maybe more competent, Conversion Field is actually pretty big. It's one of the best perks in the entire game. Again, this is my specific playstyle, Offensive Capability, because I'm more careful and I want the damage, but you can swap to Conversion Field if you choose to have it. For our weapon, we're going to be using the Aphelion Liberation Alpha. This is going to give us 14 plus firepower, as well as a base magazine of 30. plus the 25% plus the perks that it has is going to give us over 50 rounds as our mag, and we're going to be able to just shoot constantly. You can choose to use the other ones if you desire. It doesn't really matter that much because you still get a ton of ammo without it, but I like this one. But pick whatever you want. For the perk tree, we're going all the top perks because this one gives us increased ammo, which is really nice. This one is going to give us, anytime we kill a mageess or higher enemy, restores 10% of your maximum ammo reserve. As I said a second ago, you can swap to the other guns that have less ammo because you do have pretty good sustain, but I like just shooting at everything. Next, we have heavy fire. While in heavy stance, fire rate is increased by 15%. It's very noticeable, by the way. For heavy immunity, this is while you're in the heavy stance, you don't lose control from heavy hits. This is going to help you stand your ground while you have your iron halo up and just shooting and getting tons of damage out while healing yourself with the build. We're going to get Executioner's Fire. After a finisher, fire rate is increased by 25% for 5 seconds. We get Heavy Might. We get actually 2 of them. While in heavy stance, you get 15% more damage. Then we're going to get Death Strike. After killing a mageess level or higher enemy with a melee attack, you deal 25% more damage for 5 seconds. When you do a finisher with the melee, not the gun, that counts as this, so you'll get this benefit if you finish with melee, so just be mindful of that. Then you go ahead and pick up increased capacity for more ammo, and then we're going to end with Tyranid Eliminators because I tend to fight Tyranid more, but I mean, it is what it is. You can go with more melee if you want, but I think this is the better option. For a secondary, we're going to go with the Aphelion Liberator. Once again, I went with something that has way more ammo, but you can choose whatever you desire here. Doesn't really matter too much when it comes to the pistol. The perks, we're going to be going once again the top row. Common Cooling, this is going to give us like the shots, the normal shots, not charge. It's going to do less heat. We're going to get Rapid Cooling. Whenever you kill 10 enemies in a rapid succession, the weapon doesn't heat up, so you can get more damage out. Blast Radius, more AoE so you can land that. Another Blast Radius so you can land that. Previous shot as we said a second ago. We're going to get Perpetual Velocity so we can hit those pesky super range one faster, and then we get a second one that helps that velocity as well. We get Perfect Radius. After a perfect time dodge, the damage radius of your short shot is increased by 10%. Doesn't matter too much, honestly. This one isn't that big. And then finally, you're going to end with Charge Cooling. It's going to make the charge shots generate 10% less heat, so you have better uptime on your pistol. Once again, pistol doesn't matter too much, but the main thing is your Multi-Melta. That is pretty much the build. It is a very powerful build that does pretty much everything you need from a character. He's a little slow, but it doesn't matter. You're super tanky. You can stand your ground. Range doesn't matter. Your damage just absolutely decimate the screen. And as you can probably tell with my damage numbers, we're top in the charts by a large margin. Again, you guys were right. Heavy is absolutely crazy and is my new favorite class. And let me know what you'd like to see next in terms of builds. I have 2 more characters to cover, and then I'll do some other builds for other characters just to mix it up a little bit. If you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel. That helps me a ton. Or even just leave a like. That costs you nothing and it helps me a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next Space Marines 2 video very soon.